Um, I'm starting to use a bunch of new video techniques because um, for these videos for my YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna use all the techniques at once in this video. And so I'm gonna talk about something that I know probably the most about, that I think is the most important thing that I can talk about. I have been vlogging about the history of jazz lately, just because that's probably another thing that I know a lot about, that I'm about as passionate about. But what I wanted to talk about today, and I probably will talk about this again, so it's kind of like this is the first part of a mini series, probably, about shopping in a metropolitan area. What's the best way to do it? I kind of feel like I figured it out because I worked for many years as a Uber and Lyft driver, and when I was an Uber and Lyft driver, I used to work from the airport mostly, and I mean, in the end, the last few years that I was doing it, I would just wait at the airport and take someone on a long drive somewhere, sometimes a 2 hour drive, and then I would stop at stores on the way home. Because it's a good place to take a break. They have, if it's the summertime, they have air conditioning in the stores. So I would stop at a Walmart, or I would stop at a Goodwill. Two stores that have restrooms, although Walmarts are better because Goodwill restrooms are usually locked. um, but anywhere you're driving around here in the West, I guess I'll say it from a Western perspective. I happen to be living in Sacramento, California right now, but the things that I'm sharing would work basically anywhere in the world, but especially in the West, because a lot of the stores that I would talk about are ones that are Western chain stores or worldwide chain stores. But basically, the way that I used to go shopping when I was growing up, I lived in a suburban area next to San Jose, Cupertino, California, and it's the way we used to go shopping. We would mostly go to the nearest grocery store and just buy our food there, and not really go to a whole wide variety of stores usually. To buy things when I was growing up. We used to buy stuff, yeah, at the nearest grocery store, but occasionally driving to, the regional shopping mall. And then when you're driving, like, from there, we would go, like, maybe to Valley Fair, say, to buy clothes, or to, there was I can't remember the plaza, but there was a plaza in Cupertino that used to have a Mervyn's. Go there to buy clothes, and then we didn't go to like what you would call like ethnic neighborhoods in East San Jose, for example. There's a lot of parts of the Bay Area that were in my case, you can see what color my skin is, and also what my ethnic background might be. I'm just going to let people guess, but it comes out more if you can see that I have this conservative haircut, which I don't go to the barber to cut my hair. I cut my own hair with the electric razor, and when I do, I just shave it all off, and then I wear this hat in pictures for like a week if I'm going to take a selfie or something, because otherwise I look kind of like a skinhead at first, and then it grows out, and it's eventually at the point now where it looks like I went to a hairstylist or something to so actually my hair the way it is now, this is not the best way for it to be if you're in some parts of a metropolitan area that you would say like are the bad neighborhoods. But the fact is that bad things can happen, like violence and car accidents and all kinds of crazy stuff that you see in a metropolitan area. It can happen in any neighborhood. If you read the news, like Sacramento being the capital of California, there's like anything that happens in this state is happening here. And so there's, sometimes major crime happening. And so I read about it in the newspaper all the time. But what I talk about when I'm shopping is like, well, how do you avoid most of the trouble? Well, you avoid most of the trouble by not just going and making a bunch of trips to the nearest store in the middle of the week. Like if you go on a Monday in the afternoon, that's probably the worst time to go shopping as far as safety goes. The best time to go shopping is I like to go. The first store opens at 6 a.m. on a Friday, say. So all the stores are completely stocked with goods starting on Friday. Like you don't see any empty shelves like you might see, Sunday afternoon. And so it makes sense to go around. You might find more things on clearance if you go Thursday morning, because they're trying to get rid of things on shelves that are where the shelf life is expired or about to expire. So they start discounting things at regular stores on Thursday. But they still have that stuff on the shelves on Friday morning, typically. So the stores that I mostly go to and stop at that are the most consistent for... I wanted to say, too, after I worked as an Uber and Lyft driver, then... for about a year, I worked for Shipt, being a professional shopper. So I used to buy like groceries for people, deliver them out to somebody's farm, and I noticed that if part of the day I'm working in the inner city neighborhood where everybody who's there looks different than me. I'm basically the lightest colored. I have the lightest skin of everybody in that neighborhood. So I might be working in a neighborhood like that. Or delivering groceries to a farm. Well, that's what I was doing working for Shipt. I would go to the store and then I would deliver goods to different areas. Sometimes they would be in the inner city and sometimes they would be on a farm somewhere. And there wasn't any way to really know, but I figured out a few things from that, because I had some incidents where I had a lot of issues with people's dogs barking at me. Some of the farms, they had, 6 vicious dogs right behind a fence who are like, I've pretty much run the whole gamut of what types of clothes you can wear where you're not going to set off red flags with store security guards, with people who run the neighborhood that you're shopping in, and things like that. So this is kind of the intro to the series, I suppose. I can actually go out on location and talk about this and, give tips and things like that, but I have to at some point explain the whole thing, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'll probably have to pause the camera at some time. Anyway, if I want to look less like a suburban boy, then I would wear a cabbie hat, and that all, makes it so that people don't really see what my hair looks like, and, that I have like conservative hairstyle. It's good to wear a cabbie hat. I wouldn't recommend wearing, I can tell you, some other things about hats, and then I'll get back to the cabbie hat. Um, an Adidas hat is good. You can wear Adidas clothes in any neighborhood, and you look like you're from the neighborhood because in the inner city, everybody wears Adidas or maybe Nike. This hat is a sun hat from Walmart. That's okay. You know, if you're, I don't know, if you have to stand around in the sun for a long time or something, if you're out shopping, you wouldn't normally wear this kind of hat. This is more like if you're out walking. This hat is the worst kind of hat to wear if you're out shopping because it looks like I actually had the most serious incident when I was a Lyft driver was when I was wearing this exact hat. This is a hat from Bass Pro Shop. They don't wear these in the hood because they don't hire black people at Bass Pro Shop. And so the guy that was yelling at me was an African American, and he was apparently he was profiling me as some sort of visiting, good old boy from the mountains. And so this guy was in a different car, and he was screaming at me for like, I don't know, an hour. He was just screaming, I don't know, profanity. But it was clear that he wasn't happy with me wearing this hat in his neighborhood. This hat in the winter, also a cabbie hat. This is nice. Like on a day with variable weather, like this kind of Wrangler shirt is probably very thin material, so it's for the hottest weather. But it's also polyester mostly, and it's strong. So these pockets. You can stick your wallet in this pocket and your keys in this pocket, and then you don't have to, and then, I guess you put your phone in your back pocket of whatever shorts you're wearing. I'm talking about like today, it's 103 degrees out. But I wouldn't wear this when it's 103 degrees. This one is polyester mostly, so this is actually better. This is from Target, this cabbie hat. And they only sell these like part of the year, but this is actually the most useful one, unless it's one of those days where it's really cold in the morning and then really hot in the afternoon, in which case you might choose the wool one, which keeps you much warmer if you wear it on your head in the morning, and then you don't have to wear a jacket. Wearing a jacket makes anyone look more threatening to a security guard. So in a store, so it's better to wear just a shirt like this, but just make sure that you got your pockets, because if you can put your wallet and your keys in these pockets when you're either by yourself in the car, and that makes it so that your keys and your wallet don't jab into your legs when you're driving, because you might be doing a lot of physical activity in one day. You might do a lot of walking, and you can actually still keep your wallet and your keys in these pockets while you're walking around the store too, and it just makes you look like like kind of a country boy who's not really hip to city ways, but that's kind of not a bad way to look, because it doesn't make it look like you're from some rival faction. In the winter, I like this one, and I just happened to find this at a surplus store, and the only one they had left that was my size, it was green, and I wasn't happy about that. I thought it would be better if it was like dark gray. But I've still been wearing it. It's very hard to find these in any store. But this is an old, the original driving hat. Like when they invented the car in Southwest Germany, Benz. One of the guys from Mercedes-Benz was the first person to mass produce a car, and what's now the southwest part of Germany, where Mercedes-Benz is now. And he wore a hat like this. This is a motoring hat, but I mean, you know, you can wear it anywhere. You can play golf in it too. It's just an old-fashioned motoring hat. It keeps your head warm. It works as well as a cowboy hat, but you can wear it in pretty much any neighborhood. You just look like some guy who's into antiques or something like that. Sunglasses. The main thing with sunglasses is if you wear sunglasses that are you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by wearing the wrong kind of sunglasses. I had been wearing these and buying these at Dollar Tree, but now that they've come out with the new Meta shades that have the camera built in. These look kind of like those Ray-Ban things from a distance. They look like the Meta Ray-Ban shades from a distance, and people are getting the same kind of flack that they were getting when Google Glass came out. And so you're wearing these glasses that everybody knows has a built-in camera on it. So you could get yourself killed wearing like those built-in camera glasses in the wrong place if you're pointing your camera at somebody who doesn't want you to film them in a neighborhood that is not your neighborhood. You could get in a lot of trouble with them. It's better to wear sunglasses that are not stereotypical sunglasses from the past, to wear like a new design sunglasses that do not look in any way like Ray-Ban or Oakley or any of the other sunglasses that Meta partnered with to do the new so people look at you and they go, "Oh, those do not look like Meta glasses." It's hard for me to believe that anyone thinks it's a good idea to mass produce glasses that obviously have a video camera built into them, and that people think that they can just go walk around and not put themselves into a dangerous situation by wearing a video camera on their face in this day and age. But I'll take a short break and think about what I'm going to say next. So, I have a bunch of shirts here, and I have comments for each one. Shirts not to wear. Hawaiian shirt. I actually got this at Walmart. It was like $3 clearance as usual. I'm like, what a fabulous viscose Hawaiian shirt. And so I wore it to the Walmart in Florin, and actually everybody was cool with it. It used to be the Proud Boy uniform for a brief period of time, but I think that they mostly switched to Fred Perry shirts, and it's just that you don't want to be mistaken as like, I'm here in uniform. I'm just a Proud Boy in the hood going shopping. The one thing that the only problem I had wearing that shirt in the hood was that there was this. I was with my friend, and we hadn't really worked out how we were going to pay for all the stuff we were buying, so we ended up having to abandon the self-checkout thing because she didn't want to give me the money that I had given her to buy all the groceries, because she wasn't sure about some shoes. So I ended up having to just walk away from the checkout stand because there was this line of like 30 people waiting for it, and there was not anybody helping me, and there's not any button on it to cancel the whole order. So I ended up just walking away from it while all the stuff was still sitting there on it, and presumably someone came and canceled it, and then the next person checked out. But when I went back to buy this exact shirt, which I bought at the floor in Walmart, This is a Wrangler shirt. A lot of shirts I buy, I like to get them one size bigger to wear in the summer because, like a Hawaiian shirt, I usually wear a 2X, but Hawaiian shirts I get in 3X because it makes it so the air circulates better. But this kind of Wrangler shirt, the material is so thin that you can just get it as your regular size. You don't have to get an oversized version of it. The airflow it goes right straight through. All the air goes straight through the shirt. It's a very, but the threads are strong, so you can put stuff in your pockets and it's not going to rip or anything like that. So anyway, Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, I was at the checkout, and then when I came back to buy this shirt at the checkout, the security guard, or this guy that was the biggest security guy they had, stood in line behind me the whole time, because I was a guy in one of the shirts that they have on their list as shirts to kind of profile people by, like a guy with my color skin wearing a Hawaiian shirt in the hood is kind of like flagged as a potential troublemaker. Everybody else has darker skin than I have, and I'm wearing this this Hawaiian shirt, which I used to wear before the Proud Boys started wearing them, but I don't wear them anymore because I can get profiled wearing that kind of shirt. And it's it's slightly different for this. So golf shirts, I thought, and I can get these too. Very nice shirt. I mean, very sharp. So, like, if you want to go parade around the mall or something, the main mall in a golf shirt, of course, playing golf or something like that, it might be a nice shirt to wear, but it makes it so that everybody who's out in front of the store asking for change assumes that you're a rich person and that you have a lot of change, and so they give you, and also, not just like homeless people asking for change, but people that are asking for donations will assume that you're completely rich if you're wearing a golf shirt. It's not a good kind of shirt to wear if you're driving around in a bunch of different ethnic neighborhoods in a metropolitan area, going from store to store to buy goods that are marked down at those stores. And so, here I have this one. This is very bad. It's very nice, of course, to wear an Izod shirt, which I can get these at Macy's for, not a lot of money sometimes, but even if they're marked down, they still cost at least $30, and so anybody sees you wearing that, it's like, oh, here's a guy who spent at least $30 on that shirt. And it's probably, when you buy them brand new, they cost $110. So anybody who sees you is like, wow, here comes Mr. Moneybags. I mean, he's got a shirt that cost him at least $30. Sometimes you see them at Goodwill, but the ones at Goodwill usually are kind of thrashed. So one like that looks new, which it was new when I bought it, anybody who sees you wearing that is going to target you immediately, and not just targeting for getting your spare change. They'll ask you for, like, hey, can you have like $10? Here's another one, also from Walmart. It's got no logo on it, but it's such a sharp looking shirt. It looks like an expensive golf shirt, even though it's not. I mean, like they sell these at Walmart, and eventually they end up in clearance. So it's easy to get one for not a lot of money, but it's easy. It's just as easy to get one of these Wrangler shirts at Walmart. For not a lot of money. And it's still, I think, it's a pretty sharp looking shirt still, but it's not a shirt that attracts a lot of attention, that makes you look like that you have a lot of money necessarily. And it's also the lowest key shirt that shows that you might potentially be carrying, some sort of major weapon in your vehicle, because it's a Western shirt, like a cowboy shirt. And cowboys, in the movies anyway, are always carrying a six gun. So you have to be careful, guys in Western shirts. They might be carrying a cowboy six gun in their glove box. It's not. It's more over the top if you're wearing like a tactical shirt to make it look like you're armed and dangerous. It's too over the top, and so you end up drawing a lot of attention from security guards. If you go into a store wearing a tactical shirt, it looks like you're there to create some mass casualty incident. Whereas if you're wearing a Western shirt, it kind of implies that you might be armed. You might have something. You might be someone to contend with, and you wouldn't necessarily be someone to mess with, just by doing the old-fashioned route. Okay, yeah, I'm still talking about shirts. So in the in-between season, this shirt is very thin, but in the in-between season where in the morning it's cool and in the afternoon it might be hot, this kind of undershirt is good. This is like an old... it's also a good costume shirt. They sell these at Walmart. They have these in men's and women's section. It's a Brittany sailor shirt, So like if you're a boat person and you're boating on the river, this is the kind of undershirt you would want to wear in case you go overboard. They can see you. That's what the purpose of this shirt is. But was it Coco Chanel made this a fashion shirt in I think the 1950s. The design goes back to the sweaters that they're wearing in the French Navy in the 1820s. They were wearing shirts that had basically this kind of pattern on it. They make these out of really like cool material. This is like a rayon blend, which is so if it gets really hot in the afternoon, you wear it with this shirt as an undershirt. In the morning, it might be really cool, so maybe you're wearing both of these in the morning. This is an undershirt, and this also a Wrangler shirt. Wore them both in the morning, and then when it gets really hot in the afternoon, maybe you take this one off for when you're going to be shopping in a store for a long time. You wear the overshirt to block the sun, so it actually, protects you more from the sun. But you don't have to have it on if you're inside a store for a long time. And they also have these in this orange color and other colors like that. But I wear this kind of shirt. This kind of Wrangler shirt has the same kind of pockets, and so I might wear this like the other 3 seasons of the year. And then it gets to the point where you don't have to wear it with an undershirt, and that's kind of a brief window. It's only like about 3-week period of between spring and summer, and between summer and fall, where you have to wear it with a t-shirt underneath it or an undershirt. And then so then in any time of year, it doesn't get very hot in Sacramento. This is also from Walmart, the George brand jacket. And this one has massive pockets. And I could wear this thing basically all year, but I don't want to wear it because it in a store, because if you have the choice of not freaking people out the least if they don't know you and they don't know if you're okay or not. Given the choice of wearing a jacket and not wearing a jacket in a store, it's better to not wear a jacket in the store. because it makes you look less threatening, especially if you're a big person. I mean, if you're big enough to be working as a security guard or some sort of other person who might be more of a regular threat than just a some guy wearing pajamas. So anyway, yeah, Wrangler shirts. That's what they have at Walmart. It helps to wear work clothes from Walmart instead of work clothes from some special work clothes store, some other brand, because Walmart is, I think it's the biggest chain store in the U.S., so it just makes you look more like a everyday kind of person. And they sell Wrangler shirts at practically every kind of store, so I found that that particular brand, like these shorts are also Wrangler, and these have like built-in pockets. They don't look like cargo shorts. So if I wear shorts like this, they look kind of like golf shorts in the profile because they're very tight like golf shorts, but they're actually cargo shorts. They have this secret built-in thing. And these actually, I would say, are the ultimate shorts to wear, this type where it's got, Wrangler brand from Walmart. It makes you look very much like everybody else. The pocket it's not really, it doesn't look like it's made to be a secret hidden pocket, but it ends up being that if you look at someone from a distance in a profile, if security's looking at you, you look kind of like a guy wearing golf shorts if you wear these. And they also are like almost a semi-soft shell fabric, which is protects you against getting punctured by tree branches, people with knives, other things that might poke you. It's nice to wear shorts that are a little bit stronger material to make it look like you're taking your own self-protection seriously. People who are wearing some other crazy shorts, like you look less threatening to security if you wear yoga shorts, which have, which I do actually like to wear if I'm just going to the local store and I'm not going on a big, massive shopping trip. If you wear yoga shorts, security is not going to bother you. They're not looking. They don't think that people are out doing crimes wearing yoga shorts. So it makes you safer. And it also makes it safer from people who are guarding the neighborhood. It's actually a bathing suit. It's a Columbia bathing suit. But it's made to look like khaki shorts. It's similar to golf shorts, but it's not really a bad look. I mean, Columbia makes it. It's not a terrible looking thing, but the material is strong enough that you can carry your all your stuff in the three pockets, and things don't shift around as much as they do if you're wearing yoga shorts. Like you can practically run in these shorts. They're almost like running shorts, but they don't look like running shorts. They look like, like you're on the way to the river or something. I actually do wear these if I'm going swimming in one of the rivers around here. And, I have a few more clothes to go through, but I'll take another break here really quick. Also hair, like when I was a Lyft driver, I thought that it would be better to have long hair because, the legends of like someone who has better intuition because they have long hair. Supposedly people with long hair are able to get a better feel for people that they're talking to. So if you're a cab driver, you want to use everything at your disposal to be able to, quickly figure out what kind of person it is that you're giving a ride to. But it turned out that you don't rely on your hair for that. You rely on the things that you talk to them about. Like everybody that gets in the cab, you say hello, and you say, oh, nice weather, or something like that, and you see if they want to talk or not. Some people don't want to talk, and that's fine. They just want to listen to their music or something. You don't have to have a long conversation, but I ended up gathering cues about people to determine if they were like psychopathic or not from me having long hair, because my hair was down to here, but I would just keep it tucked up in a cabbie hat so no one can really see how long it was anyway. But it was unnecessary. And having long hair, it makes a guy look like a hippie, which is fine. But if you get into a fight with someone, it's better to have short hair, because they might grab you by the hair, and they do often. So it's harder for them to do that the shorter your hair is. So since that's the case, it makes sense to not just go someplace and have it touched up so it looks like mine does now, kind of the standard conservative hair. But I just shave it all off with an electric razor every like 3 months or so. No, every 4 months. And then for the 1 week where I look like a skinhead, then I just wear a hat all the time during that 1 week period where I look like I might be mistaken for a white supremacist skinhead. That doesn't happen if you're wearing a cabbie hat. Anyway, quickly going through the rest of the clothes I have. If you want to wear a golf shirt and you're out, it's better. These ones from Walmart, the George brand. Honestly, people, it has no logo on it, but it's much nicer, in my opinion, than the actual Lacoste shirt I have. It's just cut better. The Lacoste shirt was designed in 1932, and the fabric is a little thick for this climate, and it also doesn't have the blend from the George shirt is more advanced, I think, than I think that the Lacoste is 100% cotton. So I recommend those George brand, which is the Walmart brand. At Walmart, they also sell U.S. Polo Association with this fancy logo, but this material is also not as nice as the George brand. The George brand, if you get them I think I got them in 3X, one size too big, and it's like very nice. And it's not like, people will kind of think, well, maybe he's got some money because those types of shirts are associated with people who maybe are more richer than the regular person, but they also wear those types of shirts at stores, like usually, or a lot of times, people who work at the store, the cash register people, are wearing shirts like that with the logo on. So from a distance, they might mistake you just as someone who has a job, and you have to wear a store uniform. But I do end up, if I go shopping wearing a shirt, a polo or golf shirt style, I get more attention from people asking for donations and people asking for change. This is the other type of French sailor shirt. This is actually the original sailor shirt to wear as an undershirt with a Wrangler shirt between spring and summer, and between summer and fall, during that period of time when you might have to take off your top shirt in the afternoon when you're in the store. That's the other type of, it makes you look like someone who's maybe doing work on a boat or something. Like in Sacramento, we have the Sacramento River. There's a lot of boating that goes on that river. It goes all the way hundreds of miles north of here and all the way into the ocean. So we have actually an ocean port. Even though we're very far inland, we have the port of Sacramento. So they might think that you're some kind of dock worker or something like that wearing that. And dock workers are known for being tough customers. So even though some people might think that you're trying to, you're trying to be like a fashionista wearing a Coco Chanel shirt, it's really like sailors have been wearing that type of shirt for a long time. So it's also like cowboys carry guns and sailors also carry guns sometimes. So, it's those two types of looks are good, but you have to keep it very low key. It wouldn't make me safer to wear a Western shirt when I was shopping if it was an expensive Western shirt. That would make it so I would get a lot more attention from people who wanted money. I also found this this thing. I got this, I think, actually at JCPenney clearance. It's French terry, and so it's for a sweatshirt. It's kind of ideal for this climate because it's hot here most of the time. You can wear this a lot more of the year. French terry sweatshirt. It's 56% cotton and 45% polyester. I don't know how that works out, but it ends up being something that you can wear even if it's kind of starting to get kind of hot out. You can still wear this without being uncomfortable. And then in the winter, oh no, not in the winter, I also have this one, which I actually got at in Florin, and this is like a non-Western style polyester shirt that's similar to this Western shirt. And this would be like if you're going shopping somewhere and for some reason you can't wear a Western style shirt, this would be the shirt to wear. This is made by Kenneth Cole in New York, but it serves basically the same purpose. It's just the non-country look, the urban version of it. I got it in Florin, which is the hood. So this is what you can buy. It's good to go shopping in the hood because that way you look like you're from the hood if you're shopping there. And then when it's not the hot time of year, I can wear a vest, and that way I don't have to, I can just wear a t-shirt and a vest. Makes me look more threatening to security slightly if I'm wearing this. I mean, you could carry a whole arsenal in the pockets of this thing. So wearing a vest like this actually draws more attention from security than if I'm not wearing a vest. So I usually choose not to wear it, but it's a good thing to wear if you want to look like, if you're in some situation where you don't want people profiling you at all and you want to look like you're seriously not someone to mess with, then you would wear a jacket or a vest. And I also have this one to wear in the winter, which is, puffy. You can pretty much carry anything you need to protect yourself in the pockets of this type of thing. But because of that, once again, you can be flagged by a security guard in a store for looking like a troublemaker. And let's see, in the winter, when it's very, very cold, I would wear usually like the first vest I showed, which is a soft shell vest, black sweatpants. I'm talking about like it's January 2nd and it's like practically freezing. It's about as cold as it gets here, but we would wear like black sweatpants and this Adidas black sweatshirt. and then wear a vest over that, so all you can really see is just the little thing poking up over the top. That's for like the coldest days of the year around here. Well, people wear black in the winter, and because it keeps you warmer, it absorbs the heat of the sun better. But if you're gonna wear a color, there's not any real reason to wear like a bright pink sweatsuit if you're trying to be shopping in different neighborhoods and you're trying to be low key. It's better to wear either gray or black, I think. So I would only wear that. It only gets cold enough to wear that here, like about 3 weeks of the year. But if I lived in the mountains or something, and then also these shorts, I forgot to mention, Levi's. Like if I'm wearing these with the shirt I have on, I mean, I just look like the old Wagoneer from the horse and buggy days, and so I look like I might even be like some kind of historical reenactor or something, dressed like that. And if you're dressed like slightly like a historical reenactor, you sometimes get a lot of smiles from people who appreciate the fact that you put together this timeless outfit. So wearing a Western shirt with Levi's shorts like that is a valid outfit from like a 19. Oh, I mean, no, you could be some guy from 1880. I could be some guy from 1880 if I was wearing this shirt, this hat, and those shorts. But shoes, I wouldn't really wear a complete historical reenactment outfit because it's not. I don't know. I just don't know what kind of shoes you would wear if you were some guy from 1880. These are Dr. Scholl's. And they sell these at Walmart, and they're basically the same as tactical boots that they sell at like 911 Tactical, 511 Tactical. It's similar, but these are Dr. Scholl's. They come with the Dr. Scholl's insert, and they're basically tactical boots, but since they're Dr. Scholl's, they sell these at Walmart, and the security at Walmart could flag you for wearing these, but it's a lot less likely than if you're wearing actual tactical brand boots from a tactical store, which we have tactical stores here. But it's better to wear. I like these because they're really actually more comfortable than New Balance, and everybody in the suburbs is wearing New Balance, but these Dr. Scholl's shoes, to me, New Balance also makes a type, like the cheapest kind of New Balance is like the $60 ones that look a lot like this too, but these are much, much better than the $60 New Balance. In order for New Balance to be good, you have to get the Made in USA New Balance, and the ones that I had, the regular price was like $250. So I used to walk around when I lived in LA. I used to walk around town wearing these Made in USA New Balance shoes. And I hate to say, but it's seriously rookie move. I even had a guy break it to me easily once, saying like, dude, you don't look like you're a hip urbanite if you're wearing those $250 New Balance shoes. You look like a guy who looks like he wants to get beat up and robbed. So this is not that look, but still, these only cost I think I got them for like $50 or $60. I don't know the exact model name, but maybe I'll find it later. I usually wear these with the thickest socks that I have that are not the socks can either match the shoes or not. It depends on if you want to look like you're trying to be fashionable or not. So if I'm trying to not really look like I'm trying to look fashionable, it kind of counterbalances the fact that I'm in some ways wearing like a period costume. Then I wear the black shoes with the white socks. It's hot. It was 103 degrees yesterday, so I'm not going to buy a special pair of shoes for the summertime and get some kind of, I don't think that it's appropriate to, you don't look tougher wearing white tactical shoes. You look tougher wearing black tactical shoes, but you might as well wear them with white socks. These Dickie socks they have more padding, which makes it so that if you go shopping in a bunch of different neighborhoods and you're walking up and down all the aisles and you go to maybe 10 or 12 stores because you don't want to waste gas. You want to go in a big loop to a whole bunch of stores and not waste any gas. So you're going to get fatigued. Your legs and your feet are going to start to hurt unless you're wearing the absolute most sensible shoes that you can possibly be wearing. So if I'm just shopping locally during the week, I have sandals that I wear, but if I'm going around shopping in a whole bunch of stores in one day, driving all the way through the whole metropolitan area doing that, then I want to wear the most sensible shoes I have, something that looks tactical, makes me look tough, and also not wearing socks that make it look like I'm, they should be practical, but also look like I'm not trying to look continental. I'm wearing white socks with black shoes, which is a big fashion faux pas. I know it is. I'm trying to look like I don't care about fashion. That's one way that people, if they're trying to profile you, they look at you and they go, well, he's not into fashion. He's got wearing those white socks. Anyway, I'll take another brief break before I talk about the food and the bags. So anyway, this kinds of shoes. This is one example of clothes that you can wear that make you look more like a tough customer. Also, being the most sensible shoes to wear for if you're going to be on your feet all day and standing and walking, so that your legs don't come up. You don't come back at the end of the day with your legs and your feet hurting too much. But if I'm just shopping locally, I might wear something more like this, which I also found these at Walmart in clearance, which is where I find basically all my clothes these days, although occasionally going to Macy's clearance. Like I said, just to get the eyes are the one Lacoste shirt, but I'm not really that impressed with the Lacoste compared to the George shirt, as I said. Anyway, these Woodstock sandals, hippie, but they still protect your feet much better than open-toed sandals. Walmart makes a lot of nice plastic sandals as well, which I sometimes wear the plastic sandals if I'm gonna. If I want to go wading in the river, you can wear those plastic sandals all day long and go wading in the river as part of your day. But if I'm not wearing anything that makes me look tough otherwise, then like those shoes, if I'm just wearing hippie sandals and a t-shirt, then I might actually wear, these are also made by Wrangler. At that point, then maybe I should just wear these slightly militaristic looking shorts, which are not with, the green, camo, woodland camo is, I think it goes back to like World War II. So it's kind of like, almost looks like a costume. These are cargo shorts. So if I'm wearing a t-shirt, that's like not if I'm going on a long shopping trip, I wouldn't wear these types of shorts. But if I'm just around my own neighborhood and I'm going shopping at a local store, I might wear these shorts with a t-shirt and sandals. And so then that way I have at least one article of clothing that makes it look like someone might flag me as like someone who knows about self-defense, someone who maybe used to be in the military, they flag you that way, and then they don't mess with you. So if there's a marked difference between going out just wearing a complete hippie outfit and wearing a hippie outfit where you have one article of clothing that makes you look kind of militaristic, people will bother you a lot less if you're wearing the one article of military style clothing. Okay, getting near the end of the close here. The other thing, like some brands, there was this rumor about Timberland where it was turned out to not be a true rumor, but basically Timberland turned out to be not the kind of brand that you would wear in the hood, just the same way as you wouldn't wear a Bass Pro black cowboy hat in the hood either. And there's no need to get into that. Is my understanding it was just a rumor about this brand and it wasn't actually true, but it was such a big rumor, or maybe it was true, I don't really know, that it's just not the top brand to be flashing around in the hood. And then, like, if I'm going to be, when it's getting more towards winter, I could get away with wearing this, like, to keep me warm. And this color, this is also, well, this one I'm not sure, it might be from Target, but it also might be Walmart, where this color, like the oatmeal color on this hoodie, it makes me look a lot less dangerous than wearing the black sweatshirt I was wearing before. The black sweatshirt I would wear mostly if I'm just doing urban shopping mostly, but if I'm going out somewhere where it's more like out in the country farmland, then I would want to wear one that's this color, and it's nice to have one that zips up because you can wear it more, you can completely unzip it and it doesn't keep you as warm when it gets into the warm part of the day, the way the weather works around here. And then I have one other thing that's kind of like clothing, but it's not, is this kind of blanket. This is a polyester blanket from IKEA. And if you live somewhere like here where it gets very hot in the summer and it doesn't even cool off at night, there gets to be a part of the night where the temperature gets cool enough that it activates your bladder and you have to get up and pee. And a lot of people read all the time about old people having to get up to pee in the middle of the night. But what I discovered since I got the blanket is that the problem is that the cool air from the outside, when it gets to be like 3 a.m, if you don't have a blanket on you to block the cool air like that, like people who live near the coast, they might be able to get away with having a wool blanket to keep them warm, or there's less temperature fluctuation. Like if you live more like in a desert climate, it gets cold in the middle of the night. So that's why you're getting up to pee, is because the cold air is getting to your bladder and stimulating your bladder. If you have it doesn't look much different than a wool blanket, but it's made out of polyester, so it doesn't really keep you warm. It just puts a shield between you and the cold air. So I think that's basically, and also the color of it. People who go to the mountains have blankets that are like green or red or something like that, and this color is the correct color for a town here in the valley where the temperature is more like a desert climate. These colors are the correct colors. So if you have a blanket in your car to cover up the goods you're buying, like my car, I have a hatchback, and I don't know if some point like there was something to cover the hatchback, At this point, though, I just have a blanket. If I want to look like I'm a guy that's local, I don't want to have a blanket that is a like a preppy East Coast style or Scottish tartan style blanket, because it makes it look like I'm from the mountains. And so you don't pass as a local, or people don't assume that you're a local unless you're wearing a shirt that's this type of color combination. They make these Wrangler shirts in bright red and bright blue and things like that. But if you want to look like you're from the Central Valley, which is where I am, you want to get the colors that are the washed out colors. And if you have a blanket in the back of your hatchback that you're covering all the stuff that you're buying all day long, which I do. I have right now. I have a Mexican blanket that I've been using, which is a pretty good thing to wear or to use, because everybody buys the Mexican blankets and they're nice looking, but they're not really that expensive. So it's not like someone's going to break your window to steal your Mexican blanket. But this color scheme of this kind of polyester blanket is actually the correct color scheme for the specific place where I'm shopping. So if I want people to think that I'm a local farmer who really understands things, then I should have a blanket that's those colors and not a blanket that looks like a Scottish tartan blanket, because Scotland, is very, very far away from the Western United States, and it's totally different climate. And we do have people who wear. To me, it's more like, well, that's kind of an East Coast style flannel, or somebody who lives up in the mountains is wearing like a dark green flannel style. But people that live around here, if they're knowledgeable, like with this type of shirt, I could be someone that's working on a farm, because this is what people do wear, I think, on occasion. It's just a work shirt. So any kind of work where you're having to move some hay bales or something like that, this is a good kind of shirt for that. But I wouldn't want to get one of the ones that's bright red. I don't know. That's not right. You don't want to wear a bright red shirt. If you're going around and shopping in a bunch of different neighborhoods, you don't want to wear a shirt that singles you out from everybody else. You want to wear kind of a washed out color combination. Oh, I have one other shirt. I'll show you that one. Okay, well, I grabbed a few other shirts. This is basically the shirt that I'm wearing, but a different color. But you see, it's also like I don't know, it's kind of more on the brown scale, whereas the one that I'm wearing is kind of more on the gray scale. The gray scale is better, but if I got this one first and this one second. You only need one shirt like this, really. To wash it, it ends up drying in like 5 minutes, so you can wash it in the sink or anything like that, and it dries so fast that I don't know that you need to have two of them. But you can see what the label looks like. It actually is basically the same as the really, really expensive Western shirts that you see a lot of, country stars and even rock stars wearing. It's like the cheapest version of that. They also have the long sleeved version, which I don't recommend. It's to wear on the hottest day of the year, and it's like you don't. I mean, I would wear a long sleeved one if I was working out in a field on a hot day, because it covers your arms better, protects you from the sun. This is the more like the springtime, getting towards winter version of it, which, this is, it basically is like identical to like it's a serious movie star look to wear this type of shirt. If you look at movie stars, like especially like Robert Redford, He's wearing one of those shirts most of the time. Bob Marley, Bob Marley shirt. Bob Marley wore these a lot. Um, oh, another thing. I mean, I just tried this out because when I was a Lyft driver, I would go thrift shopping and I would just wear whatever shirt that I had just bought. And sometimes I wore shirts that were totally not good to wear. And what I discovered is that if you wouldn't want to wear like a soccer team shirt. You wouldn't want to wear a shirt that says, that's like a German or Nordic pride shirt. But it's okay to wear a St. Patrick's Day Luck of the Irish shirt in any neighborhood around here. I have worn this shirt. I have another one as well. I just got these after St. Patrick's Day. You can wear this and everyone's smiling at you. Oh, you're Irish. It's okay to be Irish, but some people don't want you to be wearing... it's okay to wear Irish pride shirts, but not German or Nordic pride shirts. And then I also have this golf jacket, which is it's a loose weave jacket. It's got inner pockets. Oh, well, not exactly. It's got these pockets, so you could, if you're going and shopping in an area where there's like a lot of golf courses, or a more suburban area, you can have a jacket like this in the car, and you can just put it on over whatever you're wearing, and you can wear a jacket like this practically anywhere without drawing a lot of attention from people wanting your money. Even though it's a golf jacket, it still doesn't make you look. It makes you look kind of nondescript. So I would wear that if I'm going shopping, mostly like an expensive neighborhood. If I'm going shopping in Palo Alto or something, which I don't because I don't live anywhere near Palo Alto. And then the last one, the bags. This type of thing, you can carry your wallet and your keys and your, if it's really hot and you're just wearing a bathing suit and maybe a tank top or something, this kind of bag is good to have to carry your stuff in. If I'm hanging out poolside and then I suddenly realize that I need to stop in the store or go to the ATM or something, this is the kind of thing for that, where I don't have to put on a whole different outfit. There's that bag. And then as far as bags, like if I want to carry a bunch of groceries up the stairs, this is the best kind of bag for that. It's like the big style Adidas bag. It makes it look like you're a guy from the neighborhood who's on his way to the gym, basically. And this is the kind of gym bag that they have everywhere in the world, no matter what kind of neighborhood it is. People are putting the gym stuff in Adidas bags. Adidas bags cost less than Nike bags. So you see people with Nike stuff in any kind of neighborhood as well, but Adidas makes you less of a target for them thinking that you're a rich person just based on the kind of bag you have. You wouldn't want to. And also grocery bags. These ones from Walmart. They don't make the blue ones anymore. They're like kind of gray now, but it's completely insulated on the inside. So a lot of people get cooler bags to put their ice cream in and stuff, and they're not very good kind of cooler bags. I got a bunch of these, and they've been working out great for a couple of years. They sell these in the Walmart sporting goods section, and I'm glad I got the navy blue ones before they stopped selling them, but I eventually may have to buy one of the new gray ones. And they have, there's a lot of stores that sell this, cooler bags, but if you're trying to be kind of low key, you don't want to necessarily have a bunch of brightly colored cooler bags with writing all over them in case somebody across the street says, "Hey, look at that guy with that bag that says this on it." You know, you want to have a bag that doesn't have any writing on it. Okay, I think I covered everything except for what kind of things to shop for. So I'm going to cover that after I take another break. Well, just to simulate the real world conditions that I'm talking about. Today, well, yesterday it got up to 103 degrees, and today it's like 99 Fahrenheit. And so I have to keep all the doors shut with the air conditioning on, which makes it so that I run out of breath a lot faster because if I'm getting fresh air, I'm getting oxygen. And when it's this hot, people stay inside their car and roll up all the windows with the air conditioning on, which makes it so that you kind of feel like you're getting tired because you run out of breath so fast because the air you're getting is the filtered air conditioning air, and it's not the air from outside, which is better air. So I'm noticing that as I'm talking, that I can't just talk a mile a minute as easily as I might normally. Yet shopping when it's really hot out, that's really the main thing. Like you're going from your car, which is air conditioned, to the store, which is air conditioned. So I used to sometimes go shopping when we had the hottest weather of all. It was like 115 one day, you know. Doesn't even get that hot most places on Earth. But I was shopping few years ago when it was that hot, and I found that it didn't really affect me that much just because I was going from the air-conditioned car to the air-conditioned store. And so I would just have a short break in the middle where I would be walking through the sauna. 115 is like the same temperature as a sauna. So it's not life-threatening as long as you're not standing out all day long in it. It would, I don't know, I guess that people are probably designed to even stand out all day in it, but you have to be in the shade of a tree if you are, because it's much cooler in the shade on a really extremely hot day. Anyway, what am I shopping for? There's some things that I buy at Walmart now that I used to buy at grocery outlet, because like cereal at Walmart's now it's like $2 for this type, and it's the brand names that they have at grocery outlet. They have $2, but the box is not as big, and it's really basically the same thing. So cereal, day-old bread, and sugar-free ice cream. And I checked the clothing clearance rack, which is how I end up with all these great clothes. Everything else, also at Walmart, the best barbecue sauce, I think. I went to the highest rated barbecue place on Yelp, which was on the way between San Jose and Monterey. I don't know if it's still that. And this is the type of barbecue sauce that the guy was using there. Of course, he really knew how to barbecue everything really well, but this was the sauce that he was using. Ray's Original, sugar-free. So in order to be knowledgeable about what to buy, I read a lot of books about nutrition. If you go to Goodwill, you can buy books for $2 that are, massive books that, originally cost like $50 about like every type of nutrition information. At least this is what we have in the capital of California. I think that other places have that to a degree, but we maybe have more of that here because, everything passes through here, and anything that happens in California, we have in the capital. So I think it's probably true in most states and also most countries that the capital city is going to have the most diversity of stuff in the stores, basically. So we have everything, and we have so much stuff that we have everything that's organic, and we even have everything that's organic, but it comes in a cool looking box, So like people say in the USA, like the Norwegian team came to the World Cup and they brought all their food with them from Norway because they said that they didn't think that the food that we had in the USA was as safe to eat as what they have in Norway, which I would say that that's true. I've been to Norway and I've never eaten such fresh, like better food quality of ingredients and things like that. We have that here, but normally this type of thing costs a lot of money and it is one of the premium food stores. But when it gets close to its expiration date, it ends up in discount grocery stores like the ones that we have here, which the most likely store that I can go into that's going to have that type of stuff where they're basically trying to liquidate it is a grocery outlet. So for the most part, if I'm going, I circle around the center of town and there's grocery outlets in every neighborhood. If I go around the entire circle, I think I would probably be hitting like 10 to 12 grocery outlet stores. And I don't ever need that many. I mean, I don't ever have enough money to buy it. And there's not enough room in the car to buy all the great stuff that I can find that they're liquidating at all those discount grocery stores. In our case, grocery outlet. But in other places in the world, they have other stores that are like that. So whatever the local equivalent would be somewhere else of grocery outlet, that's what I'm talking about. I'm looking for organic food that's being liquidated, and I'm also looking for things that are made in certain countries. This is from Italy. It says made product of Italy. That's what I'm looking for. They have these for 99 cents. It's something, I don't know how much you would pay for it. Like if I went to Pier 1 or something, they might be selling these for, $15 or something like that. Here's chocolate. It's chocolate and peanut butter mixed, but it's it's from France. It says right on it, oh yes, product of France. Try and get it in focus. Yeah, product of France. They had these for 99 cents a jar, and they still have them for 99 cents a jar. I bought 2 cases of them because European chocolate normally costs a lot more than that. French chocolate is just as good as Swiss or German chocolate, We get a lot of that as well. But this is a massive supply of chocolate. 99 cents for this 12.3 ounces of basically premium European chocolate. I would buy it just for the jar because you can make a nice summertime. You can put your lemonade in a jar like this in the summertime. If you take the label off and use it as a glass for the hanging out on the patio, you could put lemonade in that with some ice. Arrowhead water from the Walmart West Sacramento has cases of this, and that's kind of like the best place to buy the water, huge cases of water. As far as I know, this is the best kind of water we have in the U.S., like still water. I still think, it tastes better than other waters to me, so I favor Arrowhead water, just from Colorado, over our local spring water, which is Crystal Geyser, which I also was drinking. But since I found this for less money in West Sacramento, I might as well just buy the best water because I do notice the difference. I can get things like Yeah, this one it's getting close to the expiration date. I don't actually read the expiration date on it though. Yeah, it says that it's going to expire like in like 3 days. But instead of buying a gallon of milk to have cereal with, if I run into something like this, I bought 6 of these. They were 50 cents each. Normally they're like $7 each or something like that. This is really pretty nice. I like it when it comes in a cool looking container too. So I just stock up with this, and if I have too many, I just throw them in the freezer. And it doesn't matter what the expiration date is. If you have things that are going to expire, you just put them in the freezer and then take them out and leave them out on the counter overnight until they thaw, and then you just have some the next day. So I have a whole bunch of stuff, like especially like the day old bread from Walmart. I put that in the freezer, and then because I end up finding a cache of day old, or it's not day old bread, but it's bread that they have discounted at Walmart because they have their own bakery at Walmart. Like the whole wheat bread and the sourdough bread. Sourdough, normally is like a lot per loaf. It's like a luxury item, but it has enzymes in it, which makes it easier to digest. And I think I don't know, I think it's tastier than most kinds of bread too. Well, just like the kind of sourdough that we would call like San Francisco, like locally here, was a lot of bakeries in San Francisco that made this kind of bread. Well, they have it at Walmart sometimes, where they bake it themselves, and they have whole baguette length loaves of it for like 70 cents sometimes. If you just check the bread section at Walmart, oh, yeah, and this is like the kind of cereal that I can get for $2 at grocery outlet. So notice how the $2 cereal from Walmart is a slightly larger box. And then grocery outlet, $3 can of coffee. It's made by Smuckers, but it looks like it's from Puerto Rico or something. It's actually quite good. Espresso. I don't know. I've never seen this brand before, but it looks like it must be something they market for Latin America. Grocery outlet, brown rice. I don't eat it that much. It takes so long to cook, but it's healthy. They sometimes have, here we have peas, lentils, and zucchini. Is it organic? Oh, no, it's not organic. But the fact that it's peas, zucchini, and lentils actually makes it healthier than a lot of kinds of pasta. And this, I don't know, it was like $1 or something like that. When I see stuff like this for $1, I buy way too much and then I have it sitting around, but doesn't matter. Dry pasta. Bottles of sauce. I just happen to know from a long time ago that Sanjay is like a very good organic kind of soy sauce. So they have this type, sweet tamari splash with maple syrup. But I mean, I know this brand is rock solid. So I went to a few stores over the course of a few different weeks, and I kept seeing these bottles for 99 cents. So I ended up with like 4 or 5 bottles of this, but eventually they're not going to have this anymore on the shelf, and I'm going to have all this top quality soy sauce. If you get to stores, a grocery outlet store, right when they're opening on Friday, a lot of times they have chips they're trying to get rid of. I don't really understand how it works. I bought this kind for 47 cents a bag. But, they are kind of salty, but they're pretty much healthy kind of chips, that you would have with your, like, ranch dip at your patio party. And so 47 cents, I bought, I don't know, 12 bags or something like that. Or I do on occasion buy a dozen bags if I see chips like this. And then I just have this kind sitting around for a long time. But they don't, yeah, Best By 19 July. They end up, tasting a little on the stale side when you're eating them, but not too much to make it really a problem. Organic diced tomatoes. Anything organic is going to be healthy and has to follow regulations that other regular types, or not regular, other types of food we have in the USA that are totally toxic. If you just buy organic stuff and stuff that's from countries where they have strict food regulations, like France, Japan, Italy, Germany, and places like that, I think those are the main ones that we get. I mean, we sometimes get other food that's from countries that are near there, and I would say that a country, like product of the Netherlands. Well, I mean, I only occasionally see things, but it's the same thing. Like anywhere in like all of Western Europe, any food from anywhere in Western Europe has to follow like strict health guidelines that are not, they don't have to follow for regular standard food in the USA. So if I just go and get huge caches of organic canned tomatoes, I can have healthy organic canned tomato spaghetti sauce and whatnot for months just by buying, finding this, which maybe costs $6 at Nugget Market. But here it is for 99 cents a can. I can buy a couple of cases of it and have it for months. Don't have to go shopping all the time. And then this is something that they have at Grocery Outlet, where if you're shopping I learned this as a cab driver, if you're shopping all day, or if you're doing anything all day and you're not really able to stop and go through a drive-through because you're too busy, you can just bust open a can of this turkey. It tastes great at room temperature, or turkey chili with beans. I think it's like it was 99 cents for this. Other types of chili that I used to eat when I was a Lyft driver cost more money per can, but you can get by quite well just with this 99-cent can of turkey chili. And have, if you're hungry and one can wasn't enough, you could bring 2 cans in the car and eat your lunch really quickly, and then just throw away, bring a spoon. Oh yeah. This kind of spoon, it's from IKEA. For some reason, I'm really drawn to these thick spoons from IKEA, more substantial than a plastic spoon. And reusable too. Like I don't feel like the same about reusing a standard USA plastic spoon, but this is really so thick that it's like a metal. It's like eating with a metal thing, so it doesn't break. A standard plastic spoon can totally break in half, and so when you're delving into a can of chili, and then you have all these plastic fragments in the can, and basically you got to throw the can away and go without eating, perhaps, or spending a bunch of your shopping monies going through a drive-through, which is, I don't know what the point of that is. It's better to eat at home if you have all these organic ingredients and other things that are made in all these exotic places in the world. Oh yeah, food from Asia. Well, here's another random thing, nice looking bottle. And then in Sacramento, as well as a lot of other cities, we have a bunch of Asian stores, like a whole part of town. It's we have one part that's distinctly Vietnamese, but there's a bunch of like Asian chain stores around there. We have Filipino chain stores. We have a bunch of independently owned Japanese markets, Korean markets. But if I'm shopping at a grocery outlet, I can oftentimes get, this is a bottle of Kikkoman soup base, product of Japan, 99 cents, concentrated noodle soup base from Japan, 99 cents, made in Japan. I mean, it's insane. If I buy a case of this, I'm going to be eating like top quality Asian soup for the rest of the year, basically. Because I've got the soup base here. I can make my own at home. Um, I just got this at a grocery outlet for $1. I don't know if I'm ever going to open it. I think it's so perfect looking that I just want to leave it and look at it on the shelf just to remind myself of the positive feeling I had when I finally when I saw it there for the first time. I think that basically that's all. Oh, I also wanted to say at Goodwill, they have some things that normally cost a lot of money. This is as you can see, it's a stoneware mug. It used to have the Hofbrauhaus in Munich logo on it. But if you wash it in the dishwasher enough times, the logo fades so you can't even see it from a distance. But basically, yeah, stoneware, copper. Instead of collecting all the other stuff they have that they might have at Goodwill used, it's good to buy. I got like a stoneware mug, copper things. Copper is really nice to put your lemonade in the summer. Oh, I just got a green pan, which is the most advanced nonstick cooking pan that I'm using a lot at Goodwill Outlet. It was like $2, and it's normally $60. It's like the best, the most advanced nonstick cooking pan on the market. So I can sometimes find things at Goodwill if I'm out shopping. I might stop, especially at Goodwill Outlet, where you can buy things that are that are really quite expensive to buy new. I used to buy all kinds of things at Goodwill, but I don't buy clothes there anymore like I used to. I just basically buy books for $2 and then read them, and then I put them down by the dumpster and someone comes by and takes them away somewhere. I actually seen the books that I put by the dumpster back at the Goodwill store again. Like a guy comes by on a bike, grabs all the stuff that he can. Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know why I would end up at the store, but basically the exact two books that I had donated, that I had put at the dumpster, ended up at the Goodwill store. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because I don't think they can sell them to Goodwill, but you can buy $2 books at Goodwill and read them as if they're a library book, and then just put them out by the public garbage disposal area, and somebody will come by and pull them out of the garbage. So, I started doing that because in 2020, all the libraries were closed for like, not in 2020, for like 3 years, all the libraries in California were closed. Anyway, it's not to worry. You just buy the book for $2, keep it as long as you want, don't pay a library fine, and yeah, I'll show you some of the examples. Okay, well, it looks like looks like I'm about done. I'm nearly done. talking about these items that I have here in the studio. I have my new style glasses, which they just started selling these at Dollar Tree recently. They came out with this design like 2 or 3 years ago, and I've only seen them at Walmart before that, and they were like $15 or something. But now they have them at Dollar Tree. They're $1.25. So it's good to wear new style sunglasses because you don't want to, like I said before, wear something like this that looks like Meta glasses that have a video camera built in, because you can get in very, very big trouble if you're driving around a bunch of strange neighborhoods wearing those kinds of glasses. It's better to wear glasses that don't look like those glasses, that are also new style, because these glasses have this style has been around for such a long time that they've kind of profiled different types of personalities in movies wearing these types of glasses. So it's better to wear new style glasses, because then you look like you're kind of hip to what's happening today, and you're not wearing glasses that make you look like a gangster from 1985 or something like that. And with this kind of bag, it's got zipper pockets on both ends of it. You can carry a whole bunch of groceries if you got to carry your groceries upstairs or something. You can carry quite a bit of groceries to walk upstairs in a bag like this, and you just keep putting, you could put like 2 bags of groceries in here, walk up the stairs, and then go back and get more groceries at the car, walk up the stairs. You got this bag for that. It's much better than having like a rolling cart or something if you're going upstairs. And then, so since I have those pockets on the end, I can have different, when it's between seasons, just the cabbie hat I think is the best kind of hat to wear, because, cab drivers are in every neighborhood and they always wear the same type of hat. At least I used to, when I started being a cab driver, I was in the habit of occasionally wearing a fedora hat, and that's not the right kind of hat to wear if you're a cab driver. It's better to wear a cabbie hat. One out of polyester, this one's from wool, and then this is the larger one for the real winter. But when it's really, really hot and the sun is really beating down on you, it's actually nice to have this kind even in the summer, because the sun does not penetrate this fabric. And so it's kind of like serves the same purpose of is like a cowboy hat. Really, like, it has everything that a cowboy hat has except for the wider brim out here, but it's kind of, the motoring version. It's the original motoring hat. So I sometimes have uses for this in the summertime as well, depending on the conditions. So if I'm between seasons, I just have all 3 and I put them in the end pocket in the big Adidas gym bag, and then I can decide based on conditions. Most of the time, though, if it's hot like today, it's so hot today that if I'm out, it's like 102 degrees now at 2 in the afternoon. I don't want to wear a hat unless the sun is directly beating on me or the sun is low on the horizon and I need the brim. I'm just going to keep the hats in the bag. I'm not going to wear the hat in the store. I think most people don't wear a hat when it's 102 degrees when they're inside. They might wear a hat when they're outside to keep the sun off of them. But anyway, cabbie hat works well for that. And then the last thing, things to buy at Goodwill, books, $2 legal advice book. How much does it cost? new, $30. Even though it's out of date, it's a good thing to have just to read for a while and then like put it out by the dumpster so someone else can read it. Songwriting, I still haven't really worked my way through this. I just have a bunch of books that I haven't read yet. Well, that's why I still have them. If I've read them, then I just throw them away and someone else gets them. And I only paid $2 for it, so that's not a big deal. But there are some that are so nice, like this one it was not at a Goodwill, it was at a different kind of thrift store. It was actually still wrapped in plastic, brand new, German cooking, copyright 20... Oh, I can't even read it. Oh, 2017. That's a fairly new book about German cooking. It explains what people are doing on the continent these days with all these full color pictures of everything. I had a few older French cookbooks, which I also donated eventually to the dumpster. But this is like a brand new European cooking book that's not French, it's German, but it's basically the same type of food. There's a few things that they do in Germany that are different than what they do in France. I don't directly follow these cookbooks because a lot of the ingredients that they suggest are not ones that are that easy to come by where I live. But if you read the long sections where they're describing everything, it just makes it so when I read a book like this that I can make better informed decisions when I'm actually shopping at the store. And then, last but not least, the vintage, this is a Le Creuset pot I think it's from the 70s. It's chipped on the top, but it doesn't make any difference. It's not chipped in the middle. And so, a Le Creuset pot, vintage, would I ever sell it? No, it's really excellent to cook in. It's slightly better than a Lodge. I have a large Lodge enamel coated cast iron. And I have to say, Le Creuset is slightly better. It's no wonder that it costs more. But I would never be buying it normally new. I don't know. I feel like that even if I was a trillionaire, that it still makes sense to buy certain things at Goodwill and not buy them new, because it's like, well, what if I decided to give all my $1 trillion away? It would be a shame for the people that I'm giving away to if I had squandered a bunch of it buying things that are best bought used. In this case, I think I bought this for probably less than $10, but new, I think they cost hundreds of dollars, because it's really the best example of it. So before I close, I wanted to talk about the type of music that you can listen to on the car stereo while you're shopping. There are certain types of music that might get a person kind of pumped up, and but you don't want to play loud music that's inappropriate for the neighborhood that you're driving through if you have the windows down. So I have CDs. There's the CDs at Goodwill are kind of more expensive. I find that they're cheaper at independent thrift stores. I found one local thrift store where they have CDs for 58 cents. So we don't have always the greatest radio stations. Sometimes I'm switching through the dial and I can't find anything, so it's nice to have some CDs if you have I don't know if they still are making cars with CD players, but the one I have is has a CD player. I'm Sinbad the sailor, so hearty in hail. I live on an island on the back of a whale. It's a whale of an island, that's not a bad joke. Its lord and master is this handsome bloke. Oh, who's the most remarkable, extraordinary fellow? Sinbad the sailor. Anyway, my point being with this song selection is that if you're out driving around being a shopper, you can shop for a whole village. You can shop for many people, just one person going around getting things marked down. But you have to think of yourself as kind of a warrior. You have to, if somebody confronts you, you have to be prepared to show them that you're not afraid of them, and that this and that. But if you dress the right way, you don't look overly threatening, other things like that. I find that on the days where I follow all the rules that I'm talking about, that I don't have any problem, and that I end up winning big time, because I end up with a huge amounts of gourmet food that I'm eating all the time, and all the other things that can be purchased in a metropolitan area, where in my case, I'm not ever looking to pay full price for things. It's pointless. The idea is to stock up on multiple boxes of pasta. Gas costs a lot of money now too, so it's like I have to go around the whole metropolitan area in one trip. And if I start to feel tired, I have to have some caffeine with me, and I have to have maybe some food to eat. I don't always, because I'm shopping, so I can buy food anywhere. But if I'm buying food to eat, I don't always end up eating as well as if I'm prepared ahead of time. And you go around in a circle. You stop. You map it out ahead of time. I'm stopping mostly at grocery outlets, but also most Walmarts as well. Independent stores, a lot of independent stores, so I can easily, if I have feeling like I have the stamina to get up and start shopping at 6 a.m. and go until 5 in the evening. I usually would choose not to, because in the afternoon it's like that's when most people are out shopping, so it ends up being like the stores are much more crowded in the afternoon. And also on a day like today, it was like probably 20 degrees cooler at 8 a.m. this morning than it is right now. So it's much more pleasant to go shopping in the hot summertime in the early hours. And I notice, because I went to Winco in the morning at 6 a.m., like less than a week ago, and I don't normally go there at 6 a.m., but Winco actually opens at 6 a.m. and grocery outlets don't open until 7 a.m. So I went to Winco first because I woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep for whatever reason. It's sometimes the hot weather throws off your sleep schedule as well. But Winco, which is known to have like some of the lowest prices on a lot of things, is completely packed with senior citizens at 6 a.m. in the morning. The guys who work there are riding around on their whatever the pallet jack thing, whatever that thing's called, that little car they ride around on with the pallets on it. Those are driving around beeping at everybody, and all the customers that are there look like they're at least 65 and in some cases much older, shopping at 6 in the morning when there's not any young people out. It's not crowded. The weather, it's cooler. So even people who are on a late night schedule can benefit by waking up in the middle of their normal sleeping time. getting highly caffeinated, go out and shop during the best time when the prices are lowest, when the temperature's best, all those types of things. The same time that all the old folks are shopping at Winco. It's like grocery outlets open at 7, so I try to go and hit at least 3 of them before 8:30. I mean, I don't mean hit them. I mean, go into the store, find all the stuff that they have that they're liquidating, buy that stuff as quickly as possible, and then go to the next one so that I'm getting those things at the time when they have them marked down, because as it gets to be later into the day, they actually take that stuff and people either buy all of it or they just change the price and make it more money, because people who are shopping in the afternoon are not as price conscious as all the people that are shopping early in the morning. So people in the afternoon actually will pay full price for something that they had. They were liquidating in the morning, but since it gets to be the afternoon, they just take the sale sign off of it, and then it goes back to the regular price. So there's not really a huge benefit to doing this kind of power shopping late into the afternoon. It's better to do it all Friday morning, say, or maybe try it on a Tuesday morning. You might find some things that they have even cheaper midweek, perhaps. I've kind of experimented around with that, but I like to do it on Fridays because, all the shelves are completely stocked on Friday morning, but they still have all the stuff they're trying to liquidate that's still there. Sometimes they have it on carts, and they have signs, five for $1, French chocolate, something. I mean, sometimes they have things that cheap. So that is the right time to do it. I think that's probably all that I can really think to say for this whole intro. I don't have any more props to talk about. So yeah, in the future I might cover this topic when I'm actually shopping at the store, but there's only so much filming I can get away with in the store. It's okay to bust out your camera and take a photo of something to show what the price is, or maybe if you're in an aisle by yourself, you can maybe take a picture of the whole yourself standing in the aisle without having the security come after you. But I certainly would not be able to actually narrate things when I was in the store without drawing a lot of attention. So that's why I'm doing this intro and getting most of the talking out of the way that explains what my methods are for shopping. And they were developed over a long period of time. I've lived in major cities most of my life. I grew up in a kind of an upper middle class suburb where people had enough money to not worry so much about bargain shopping. At least I never heard any of my friends talking about it that much. And I see people who never left that type of neighborhood that I grew up with, who I can see when they post pictures that they're not aware of some of the things that I'm talking about. There are a lot of people who live in the suburbs who are afraid to go shopping in the inner city. Understandable, but there are, I was one of those people, but then I lived in major city. I live in the inner city at a young age, and I lived in the inner city in San Francisco, Oakland. I didn't live in Oakland. I lived in Albany and also in the other one, Alameda. And I lived in all parts of, all around San Jose and all that. But I lived the longest in San Francisco and like in the Lower Haight, which is like the full on Fillmore. And if you live in the full on inner city like that, the prices are very high at the local stores. It's funny because people think of it's like a poor neighborhood, but if you go to the local liquor store to buy something, it's much higher. You're paying a lot more money there. It's hard to park in San Francisco. And there's not much parking. When I lived in Los Angeles, I was also not afraid to go shopping in what a lot of people think of as a bad neighborhood, or not the right neighborhood for them, maybe, based on how they look. But if you look like I'm passing through, I'm a worker, I'm kind of like a truck driver. I have no choice but to be in the neighborhood, but I don't look like I'm there to cause trouble. I can go to pretty much any neighborhood in any city as long as I'm following the guidelines that I've been talking about in this presentation. So yeah, when I lived in the real inner city for many years in San Francisco, I didn't really know to drive outside of the city to go shopping because it was such a hassle to get out of the city and then come back and find a parking space. In LA, it wasn't like that. LA also has a lot of areas that are dangerous areas, but you can drive everywhere in LA and always find a parking space. It's even more so the case in Sacramento. And Sacramento is, in a lot of ways, it's like other parts of California, because it's the capital. It has neighborhoods that are similar to neighborhoods in LA, has parts that are similar to San Francisco, and it also has suburbs that are similar to suburbs all around the rest of the state. If you're going from one area to the other like that, you just have to be conscious of how you're dressed and how you're acting. And so it's possible to get a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to get if you're either living in kind of an upper class suburban neighborhood where they just have like gourmet stores that are filled with these same types of items. Like we have Nugget Market. I could expect to find something on the Nugget is probably the most gourmet market in Sacramento. Has very high prices for most things. I can get this at Grocery Outlet. It's not even really expiring. It's not expiring until the end of next month, so I haven't opened it yet. But if I was buying it at Nugget Market, it would cost 10 times more than what I paid for it at Grocery Outlet. But if I was just going to the Grocery Outlet in the one grocery outlet in the neighborhood that I live in, I could expect to maybe find one item like this, or maybe 2 or 3 items. But if I'm going to all the grocery outlets in all the neighborhoods in the city that I live in, spending the entire morning shopping and maybe until 2 in the afternoon, and I only do that one day. You can do it one day a month, if you and get everything you need, and anything that you have that might expire, you just throw it in the freezer, and so you don't really have to worry about the stuff expiring. Then you can get all the food for the entire month in one day, basically. You have a whole house or apartment or whatever full of gourmet stuff that you can choose to eat whenever you get to it. But in the meantime, I don't really have to go on a giant shopping trip like that. And if I was living somewhere rural, like if I was living like on a farm somewhere far away from a metropolitan area, I could do the same thing by going once a month, driving to the capital city, just one guy, getting a hotel room, staying at the hostel or something, doesn't have to be expensive, and then go shopping in the capital city, and then drive back to my remote farm somewhere, and I would have all the gourmet stuff so that the rest of the month, I'm dependent on the local store in order to buy things like gallons of milk or something. But if I did live on a farm, and I did once, the farm that I lived on, they had a really big. They had more than one actually large industrial freezer, like the ones that they have ice cream at. When they're selling ice cream cones near the front of a store, sometimes on a hot day, people will be buying popsicles from a freezer unit. So you have a big dedicated freezer. So you can even if you live somewhere that's way out in the middle of the sticks, you can still once a month or even once every 2 months go to the capital city, stay overnight somehow, or maybe a couple of nights, fill your car with gourmet stuff. I think it's probably better to go and stay at a hotel so that and then the next morning get up really early. Like you would go stay at a hotel like Thursday night. The next morning you check out of the hotel, buy all your stuff, and then drive all the way home so that you're not you don't have a car that's full of stuff. But if you do have a car that's full of stuff, it just makes it more likely where you can get people want to steal it or they're more interested in you, or also your car is not getting very good gas mileage if it's totally packed with stuff. So you don't want to be staying like multiple nights. You just want to go get a hotel or a hostel or even a campsite for one person. You might even do a shopping trip with 2 people. It's just easier, though, to coordinate things if you're just one person, I find. So if I'm making snap decisions about where to drive or I want to change my route, it's easier if I'm by myself to do that than if I'm going with another person. If I'm shopping with another person, it doesn't make sense to do a big, massive shopping trip with another person. It's more efficient to do it alone. I trust my own instincts well enough after having done this professionally, where I trust myself enough to make fairly sound decisions most of the time about things. So I guess that a person has to trust themselves. They have to feel like they can handle them. They're streetwise enough where they can handle themselves and avoid conflict with local people a variety of ways. It's not just the way you're dressed. It's also, if somebody walks up to you and wants to talk to you about something, you have to show that you don't want to look like you're afraid. You want to look confident. If they say they want some money from you, I just say, I'm really sorry. I wish I could. I really wish I could. It's, you could, if somebody's coming in asking you for money, you can start rambling on about stuff so that they're like, oh, I don't want to have to talk to this guy all day about his personal problems. So you can kind of allude initially like, oh yeah, trouble. I'm here. I want to have conversations with people that are asking me for money because it's my free therapy. I don't have money to pay for a psychoanalysis, so I just talk to everybody that wants to talk to me. You can look at it that way. You don't have to, though, because that's kind of like you're sort of using people in a sense, but some people want you to be entertaining, so it really depends. But in order to survive on the street, a big part of it is to think of it as that you're kind of providing impromptu entertainment for just anybody who wants to talk to you. Like I found working as a cab driver that, especially because the cab drivers in England, in London, there's this whole thing about London cab drivers and all the talking they can do to entertain people. But basically, yeah, like a cab driver's job is sometimes to just talk to people about whatever they want to talk about and to be good at the art of conversation. It's the same thing. I mean, and so, any kind of person, even somebody who looks like a full-on thug, you do the best to entertain them, and you also have to speak. If they're speaking in some kind of dialect that you might be able to also lapse into. I can talk in different dialects that people talk on the street, but I don't normally talk that way. If I'm talking, I normally talk and I try and be as clear as possible. I don't use big words. Because I don't want to use like a collegiate English, large words, because it makes me look ostentatious and kind of I'm better than all you people here on the street. It's like you want to show that you want to talk to them the way they're talking to you, at least initially, to show that you have some knowledge of it, to show that you're not the kind of person who never leaves the suburbs. Like somebody who lives in a protected neighborhood or who spends their time in like working in a building that has a lot of security so that they don't have to deal with people on the street, and also people who spend their time in like private clubs, doing activities that cost a lot of money, which is something that I'd say more like people who want people to think of them as upper class will, they don't demonstrate these skills sometimes. And these are the types of skills that makes it so that you end up surviving on the street in a real urban environment, but also are important if you're driving around an area that's maybe less urban. Sacramento, for a city, is not the most urban city in the world. It's kind of spread out, and it's not really the biggest city. It does have an urban core that has a few tall buildings, but it's kind of notable for, you can always find a parking space, which a lot of cities are not like that. A lot of the cities in the Bay Area are not like that. But anyway, it's these issues all around the world, basically. I'm just talking about shopping in the capital. It's easier to get all this stuff. If I was driving around Los Angeles is very, very spread out. So if I want to get to the cool, independent stores in the more like cooler bohemian ethnic neighborhoods where you might end up with some kind of sauce that they might not carry at other discount stores because you went to some special neighborhood. If I was shopping in Los Angeles, I would have to drive all over the place to do that. Everything is much, much more spread out in Los Angeles than it is in Sacramento. And if I was trying to do it in San Francisco, it would be traffic, and I would not be able to find parking. And San Francisco is basically a tourist place, I think of it. I mean, I lived there for more than 10 years, but it's still useful for me if I want to go be a tourist occasionally. You can take a ferry boat in and take the cable cars and things like that, and I might be able to find some types of, I can find some, like if I'm shopping in North Beach, the Little Italy in San Francisco, they have these, Italian delis there that might be selling something like this for $10. But if I'm buying it in Sacramento, where it's easy to park, especially in the early morning, I can get around to a bunch of stores that are selling this same thing for 99 cents. So it's better to go around once a month or once every 2 months, buy huge, not huge quantities, buying enough of this to last for 2 months. If it's going to go bad or something, then to have a dedicated freezer to freeze it in. I mean, in order to defrost it, you just take it out of the freezer the night before and leave it on the counter, and then you put it in the regular fridge after that. So I end up having like this. The reason why the Norwegian team didn't want to eat in the USA is because the USA has a bad reputation for having really lax food guidelines, but we don't end up suffering. Those of us who are aware of the stricter food laws in Europe and also like in Japan and probably most of Asia as well. Well, Australia has stricter food. Basically, everywhere has stricter food laws than the USA. There are some American brands, though, USA brands that they favor in countries that have those strict guidelines. Like if you look at pictures of stores, I was looking at pictures on Google Maps of stores in France, and I noticed that they sell Tropicana orange juice in France, and it's popular. I think it's made in the USA though, isn't it? So there are some things. Tropicana orange juice, it's really good. I think it's made in the USA, and also like Oreo cookies. I guess they're really into those in France because I see pictures of them on the shelves in stores just from Google Maps, like in Paris, you know. So these are good things to know as well. It doesn't have to be made in France. It could just be Oreo cookies. Those are good cookies. Everyone agrees on that. Okay. Well, I think that I've finally covered everything I can think to cover for the introduction for this. So I guess that I will sign out now. That is all that I have for today. Be well.